join in and let's drive home and let's talk about waiting. Let's talk about how we wait. And I'm pretty sure, like you, I have been, like me, you have been in a waiting season. And the question is, during this waiting season, how do we act? Because let's be real, sometimes waiting is hard. And other times, things happen quickly. But I remember a year ago, maybe 2 years ago actually, I went on a trip to the south. And I'm from the northeast. And things here happen very, very, very quickly. And so I went to a restaurant in North Carolina and I had to sit outside and wait for us to be ushered into the restaurant. So I sat down with my family and we waited 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. And when you look at the window, you can see that there are spots for you to sit. Some were full of dishes, but there was no one at the front to sit us down. And I kept asking myself, how long do I sit here and wait until I make the decision to go find food somewhere else? And I think about this in the context of the prayers that we pray and how we wait for God to act on our behalf and in our lives. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that I don't always wait well. Sometimes I complain. And so I just wanted to take a moment and reflect on that, because I had a conversation recently with someone who was going through some tough times waiting, and I'm encouraging the person, and then I realized, oh, you should say those words to yourself. So here I am. I'm reminded of the story of Joseph. Joseph was sold by his brothers when he was about 17 years old, and he went into Egypt, and during that time he was accused of sexually advancing to one of the ruler's wife. And this was a lie, but it put him in jail. And while he was in jail, he was innocent, but it didn't matter anyway. And he spent some years in jail. And at some point, he started dreaming. And during the time that he was dreaming, the angel, not the angel, it wasn't an angel. During the time that he was dreaming, one of the people that he was held with was impacted, and he shared what this person's dream meant, and he interpreted it for two people. He interpreted the dream for two people, and when one of the person that was supposed to be released, when it came time for him to be released, Joseph told him, don't forget about me. And so when this person was released, he forgot about Joseph for 2 years. 2 whole years, Joseph was waiting for his breakthrough. But if I put all of that time in total, Joseph was in jail for maybe 13 years. And for that whole period of time, he was waiting on God to act. And eventually, God did, and he was released. And when he was released, he went to become second in command. And so I think about his journey and his experience. And it encourages me, because the question I ask myself is, during my waiting season, how good am I? How well am I waiting? And it's important to really wait well, because on the other side, you don't really know what God is preparing for you. God may have a much bigger surprise, a much bigger setup for you than even what you're praying for. But because we don't know is why we should trust God during our waiting season. But again, being real over here, sometimes we don't wait well. And I feel that God is asking us in this time, during our waiting season, whatever it is that you're waiting for, God is saying, if you can trust me, I have a much, much better outcome for you. Maybe you don't see it now, but God says, I have a much better outcome for you. And so if the story of Joseph is any encouragement to us, is that it may look like life is getting worse. It may look like the things that are happening are getting worse and worse. And it may even feel like you're in jail time. But God says, during your time of waiting, trust me. And so that's been encouraging me these last few days. And I wanted to share that with anyone who will listen to this, to encourage you to wait well. And sometimes in the moments of waiting, God is developing our characters. So maybe how long you stay is determined by how well you wait. Why? Because your character is more important than your calendar. So it's not about the time, but it's about you and who you're becoming in the moments that you're waiting. So can God trust you to become the person that He is molding you to be during your period of waiting? That's the question. So my prayer is that every time that I have to wait on God, that I am becoming a better person and I am growing in my walk with Him and in my intimacy with Him so that He can trust me with what I am waiting for. So I hope that's encouraging to you, and I hope that you feel empowered to wait on God and wait well, because during this time of waiting, God's got something for you. So I want to leave you with just 3 things. One, which is while you wait, worship. Second, pray with expectation. And third, prepare for the promise, because it shall surely come. God bless you all. Bye.